Hello everybody, this is Sean's Lua Tutorials, and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of Lua. You'll want to know all of this before you start writing your first Lua scripts. And so as you open a brand new Roblox template, first we're going to want to get to know these sidebars and this, one of the most important tools. Now if you don't have these many open already, what you're going to want to do is go into View and press on Properties and Explore. And then over here, you also want to press on Output so you can get this. Alright, so now that you got your studio look like mine, what you want to do over here is so first, your workspace is like the main part where all the parts go when you place them in, like right here. You have the part, look, it's right here in the workspace. You can go click out of it. Click here, you got that part selected. And now that we have this part selected right here, what we can do now is first we can explore this tab. We have the appearance, data, behavior, and part. So here, first, the appearance is like, like changing how everything looks on this part. Like right here for brick color, pretend you want it to be like red, you can choose that. Or if you want to choose a color on the color wheel, or it looks like more like a color square, you can just choose one of the RGBs here. You have one of the, and you can change like how dark and light it is. I'll go like that. Over here you can change the materials. You have like brick, cobblestone, concrete, corroded metal, and a ton of others. You can choose any you want. I'm just showing you can choose like glass, and you'll have like this weird glass material, but but it doesn't make it transparent automatically. You would have to, do it how you want. So over here, you'll also have the reflectance and transparency. The reflectance is pretty much how reflected it is. It doesn't reflect like other objects. It just has like little light gleam. Like if you put it, like the higher you put it, the more you're pretty much going to be seeing sky. I'm just going to put it a little bit high. This is just learning like that. This is how you check how transparent it is. See, now it's pretty much see-through. The transparency really high, it's all the way like that. That'll be if you put it really high, that'll be like your, like invisible walls and all that. You see with the transparent of the reflectance? If you go at certain angles, you can see that's some reflectance right there. Alright. Alright, so now we got that down. What we can do next is I'm going to show you what the data part is. The data part has all like the center of mass, which you can't really change right here. You don't really have many things. You have the class name, the mass, the name, so you can name your part like that. It'll show up right here. It's like easier to sort. Orientation is basically like, twisting around. Like you can go put 0.75 right there or 0.76. Oh wait, yeah. I hate doing this. I don't really use this. 0.56, 0.56. Oh, I don't know why that is working, but usually it will change. Oh, I mean, yeah, it usually changes by itself like that. We only really need to mess with that right now. You won't usually need to be messing with that. Right here you have position, which basically pretty much, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. The position where it is, like you can change this to like 57. Oh, you can't really change it. 57. I don't know why this happens to me, where it just won't let me change it. And the velocity, we'll explain that later in later tutorials. Have anchored, because if you don't anchor when you run, it'll just like fall down. So you'll want to make it anchored if you want it to stay in one position. Cancel is like if you can walk through it. The collision group ID is basically like items have different collision groups, and decide if an item has the same collision group as the other, they will collide. If they do not, they won't collide. You have lock, so you can make it so you can't select it. Massless, which makes it have no mass. And you have the size and the custom physical properties, which is like if you were to do all this other things like density, friction, elasticity, friction weight, elasticity, weight. I can't pronounce it right now. Alright, so then we'll move on to some a little bit. Oh yeah, you need to know the rest of your stuff. Over here you have the players, where it'll have all the list of players in the game that's in the game. As you know, there's not going to be any right now because there's no players playing the game. You have lighting, where you can have and players can also change the name, the respawn time, and all of that. Over here in lighting, you can change like how lighting your game, like how bright it is. Why it's too bright. You have the color shift, environmental diffuse scale, global shadows, which enables shadows, ambient, shadow softness, where it's like how soft the shadow looks. So you can have it like rock hard like that, or you can have it like a bit blurry. I'll put it back to 0.2. So you can also change technology compatibility, which doesn't really have much shadow. Just like a little future, pretty realistic. You have shadow map. I don't even see the difference between those. You have voxel, but it's basically the same of compatibility. I'm gonna stay on shadow map. You have clock time, which is basically like the time of day. See, now it's all night and all of that. You can put it back to 14. You have the latitude, which changes where like the sun's position would be. Parent, the other part of the time of day, and some other parts. Over here you have like fog, where you can change where the fog will be in the game. There's fog's usually all the way out there. Okay, so you have replicate first. We'll explain this in later tutorials. Replicate storage is basically storage that's pretty much replicated across all clients, although it's more accessible to hackers, but you're going to use it in some areas. You have services where you're going to put your main scripts, like round scripts and all of that. Mainly, you'll be using that in your scripting life the most time. You have server storage, which is stuff stored in the server. Oh yeah, replicated storage is stuff replicated across the clients. And server storage is like is stored in the server, so it's actually part of the server and not the client. Starter GUI was where we have all the GUI displayed. Starter pack, think tools that'll start in the player's little backpack area, that'll be right here. Starter player, it's like little scripts that you can put that'll be in the player when they spawn and all of that. You have sound service with for like sound and all of that. Chat, you can change some of the chat things. You can change all this. The default chat. Localization service, where this is localized, all that's going to be the EU and US because I'm the US. Test service. You have all of this for testing the game. Change all of this. Alright. So now you can get started with some of the basic parts of scripting. So you want to just add a script into service scripters. I would recommend following along so you can actually see some of this stuff. Right. It's better to do it along as it'll help you learn. Now, if you're trying to get something from like the game, like the workspace. Now here's the thing. Now if you want to ever locate something from anywhere in the game or any of the directories right here, you'll want to do things like game dot. Basically, it's like looking through your files. You'll put game because that's looking in your game. You'll put dot workspace to find this dot like part. And that part's right there. You see that part is right there. Press on part, enter, and then dot. That'll let you look. Look through the properties of the part. You go through there, and if you look right here on the part, you see all these properties. So you can change like let's see transparency. Do transparency right there. And then you'll put now you have what you're trying to change or the property. So then since you're trying to change the transparency, you can put equals and pretend we were going to want the transparency like 0.1. Just go right here, equals 0.1. And that's all you do. Now, as you know, sometimes the part may not actually be, in the game, like maybe it got destroyed or any of that. So what you could do instead of getting an error, you'll just stop the whole script. You can put if game dot workspace, and now you're gonna look at fine. Now you're gonna learn two variables. I mean like little it's hard to explain what it is, but you'll put the colon and you can put find first child. So that'll find the first child without waiting or anything that's in the workspace called that part. That's it. That is that part. You can put and then you'll put um those little comma marks, speech marks, and you would find the part right there. Game slash workspace. I was game.workspace colon find first child part, and here you put then, because then if it finds that, then you'll press enter and it'll automatically make that end right there. If you don't have the end, it won't end. So it'll have an error. So then you want to put the stuff they want to happen right in between the end and the then. And so then we can put game dot workspace dot part dot transparency equals 0.1. And you would have that. Now, another thing you can do right here is wait for child part. Now that'll keep on waiting until it can find that in the workspace or where you're trying to get it from. Now, if it never comes, you'll get a infinite yield error because it's waiting for infinite time. So we're gonna leave that right here. We're gonna run, and you're gonna see what's gonna happen. Look, transparency changed. And see, that's your first little thing that you did with scripting. It's partly transparent. Look, 0.1. Now, you may not want to keep on typing wait for child or all of that. And so what you can do is you can get rid of that, and you can get rid of all of this. You can go do local. What local is you can make your own variable for something. You can do local my part equals game dot workspace dot wait for child part. Now you got that, and so then you can go if part if my part, then my part dot my part dot transparency. Let's make sure we spell it right. see. Yep. Transparency. My part dot transparency. Right. All right. If my part dot transparency equals 0.1. And we have that. You can just go here and look what happens when we run the game now. See? It still does it. But what we did is that we made it easier to categorize it. So instead of always having to type that over and over again, you can just keep on putting my part instead of all of this. So like look, you can still put my part, my part. So you have all that. Now we can go to like now we can do something with let's see what you want to do. You can now I'm gonna show you something you can do with the clone command. So just put like a part, just throw that part into the server storage. Then you can put local my my part equals game dot server storage dot part dot yeah part. No, we're gonna want to put a wait for child because no, I actually pressed tab. Oh no, I forgot to do it. Oh yeah, don't press delete. If you press delete, it'll do that. Oh yeah, insert. All right, don't press insert, or else that weird thing will happen. Wait for child part. Now we got that. If my part, then my part, and here's the thing, you can go clone like that, and then put the parentheses, which will clone your that part. But instead of doing that, because then it'll just clone it, and you won't be able to really find it that easily. What you're going to want to do is local cloned part equals my part clone. Well, what that'll do is it'll make that clone and name it. I mean, it'll categorize it in the script as cloned part. So then you're going to want to do is if you want to name it something different, you can go cloned part dot name equals. Oh wait, what you want to do is yeah, clone part dot name equals clone part dot name equals, let's see, what do you want to call it? Cloned part named. Oh wait, can't just put that though. What we have to do is put it in the quotation marks and then put my part named. I'll just put Gregory. And so then now it's in my part. Now it's called my part named Gregory. And then now, see, now what we have to do is now we can move it to the workspace. So then now to do this, what you have to do is you want to go to clone part, clone part. Let's see, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Alright, so you want to do clone part. Yeah, it was this. Move to game dot workspace clone part. Oh yeah, clone part dot parent equals game dot workspace. I was confusing with a different thing. you do clone part to parent equals game.workspace, then you want to do local local named clone part equals game dot workspace find first child. Let's see, my part. No, I mean no. What do we name it? My part named Gregory. Oh, what we want to do here is actually put a wait for child. So now we have that right there. So now look what will happen when we do it. See, it's in server storage, so you can't see in the workspace. So look what will happen. Oh, look, see, it just popped up right there. Alright, now see, we have this right here, made it in the workspace. Now, it didn't change its transparency because we didn't put the transparency part in. So unless you're one step ahead of me, what you're going to want to do is named cloned part dot transparency equals 0.1. Now, so we can look at it better. What we can do is we can put a wait 5. What that'll do is it'll wait 5 seconds and then it'll do this. So now look what you can do. Now look what will happen. Let it load. See, it waited a few seconds and it did it. Now it looked like it was more immediate because my computer took a bit to load there. But you got your first little working script. Now we're gonna discuss a few variables before we go. You can put if. You can also do if find if game dot server storage find first child part, and so you can put and like that, and game dot server storage find first child part dot transparency equals 0. Then you can just game dot workspace find first child. Game dot server storage find first child part. Oh yeah, what you want to do, the reason it has is because when you're trying to check if it is something, you want to put 2 equals. So if game.work-server storage find first child part, game.work-server storage find first child part dot parent equals game dot workspace. So this will be the last script of the day that we did. Then we'll pick up with some other stuff tomorrow. So see, it put that in by itself because the transparency of it was also 0. So there. Well, thank you guys for looking at this tutorial today, and check out more tutorials will be coming soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon if you want to be able to copy code from future videos. Bye.